Coming up on this Hooray for Summer edition of Inside Bellingham, we'll profile a popular city parks program that brings music to our ears and is one of this year's recipients of the Mayor's Arts Awards. And a tour of the downtown public library from the point of view of a book. We'll explore those restricted, closed stacks that secret away thousands of books and magazines. And a wonderful summer tradition returns with history cruises out on Bellingham Bay, hosted by the museum's Richard Vanderway. And Mayor Dan Pike provides an update on waterfront redevelopment. All this and a colorful half hour absolutely jam-packed with community information right here on Inside Bellingham. Hi, and welcome to Inside Bellingham. I'm Doug Waldo. And this is Big Rock Garden in the Silver Beach neighborhood. This place is one of the best kept park secrets in Bellingham. Big Rock Garden is almost 3 acres of woodland paradise with groomed gravel trails leading through exotic plantings and an eclectic collection of sculptures that inspire, delight, and stir. There are benches and decks placed for resting. The city purchased the park from the Drake family in 1993. And since then, Big Rock Garden has become a wooded retreat in a quickly growing neighborhood. It's a delightful and very special woodland garden with exotics and natives living peacefully side by side. Big Rock Garden is one of several locations for a fantastic series of musical events, free and open to the public all summer long. From June through August, there'll be 29 free musical events in Bellingham as part of the Concert in the Parks series. And by the way, the Bellingham Parks Department was recognized with a Mayor's Arts Award this year for bringing music into our lives. The coordinator for all these musical events is Amanda Grove from the Parks Department, and we asked Amanda to give us a little hint at what we might expect at this summer's Concert in the Parks performances.
Oh boy, we have a lot of venues this year. We've got our Boulevard Park concert series.
Just celebrate.
Oh, there's a party going on right here, yeah. A celebration to last throughout the years.
The Boulevard Park concert series, it really calls for a big band. And that could be, we have country this year, we've got rock, we've got funk. Oh, the Chryslers are great friends of the Parks and Recreation concert series.
It's time to come together. It's up to you. Oh, what's your pleasure? Everyone around the world, come on!
But, you know, I also feel that it's important to change things up and to try some new things. Last year we had a hip-hop band at Boulevard Park. I was pretty nervous about that, but it was so well received. And we got a letter from a woman who had been visiting from Colorado, and she wrote our director and thanked him for our staff taking this risk of having hip-hop, and she sent a check for $100. Can you believe that? Amazing, huh? And they were excellent performers, and they really did a great job representing hip-hop culture and just working the crowd. It was so fun.
I am an animal.
There's the Elizabeth Park series.
We both are animals.
Different? Dana Lyons is great, and he had a great national hit recording too. It's wonderful. Here's a local guy who's not afraid to speak his mind through music. I think that's wonderful.
We all are animals. The reptiles have some class. They slither about in the grass. They like it when the weather's damp. They party deep in the swamp. They got smooth and shiny scales, long tongues and longer tails. Ooh, I am an animal.
Big Rock Garden Park is a wonderful place to see a concert. We have them on the third Sunday of the month in June, July, and August from 3:30 to 5. And people come and they can stroll around and enjoy all the gorgeous art and the horticulture and enjoy the music. It's just wonderful. And this is the only venue where it's non-amplified and we have acoustic-only music. And the kids' concerts, well, what can you say about kids performers? They're an entity unto themselves.
Oh my goodness, all that shaking going on. Gonna shake, shake, shake us sailors out. Shake, shake, shake us sailors out. Shake, shake, shake us sailors out. Wiggle the wax away.
One year we had a performer named Jory, and she made me quack like a duck and walk all around the library lawn, and this whole parade of kids was behind me. I think I might have even had a duck costume, but thank goodness I'm not doing that this year.
Mama, mama, I want a mango. Papa, papa, please papaya. No, no, nana, a ripe banana. Kiwi, 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 quince.
It's a huge honor to be recognized by the Arts Commission and the mayor through the Mayor's Arts Awards for the Concerts in the Park series, because it is such a great venue to bring people together, to build community, and to just celebrate where we live. So to have that recognition makes me feel really good about what I do and how I serve our community. And it's great to be a part of it.
Kiwi, 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 quince. Olay. Oh, can we have a hand for the Bellingham Fruit Band? Yes, take it back.
But it's true, I'm not quacking like a duck this year.
You can get a complete Concert in the Park schedule listing all 29 gigs at 5 different venues absolutely free. Just go to www.cob.org/parks and download the Bellingham Parks Department's Summer Leisure Guide. As you know, our community is creating a wonderful new neighborhood on our waterfront, and we envision it as a people place that easily connects from downtown and is a model of environmental stewardship. Mayor Dan Pike has more about the work underway to carefully define the next steps in this once-in-a-lifetime project.
We all know the redevelopment of our waterfront is an extraordinary opportunity for Bellingham for a number of reasons. First, we have the opportunity to create a beautiful new mixed-use neighborhood. We want to see public gathering spaces, parks, and streets designed to move people, not just cars. Second, by attracting the right blend of blue-collar, white-collar, and green-collar jobs, we can secure solid, living-wage economic development for our community. Finally, we have a huge chance to define Bellingham as a regional as well as a national and international model of a green, sustainable city. To accomplish this successfully, you have to know where you're starting and where you want to end up. We're starting from a very solid foundation, the excellent work of the Waterfront Futures Group, which established the vision and principles for the future of our waterfront. The city considers the Waterfront Futures Group work the voice of the community and the framework for today's waterfront redevelopment planning.
There is some gin in the back
We consider this work a living document, stewarded today by the citizens who make up the Waterfront Advisory Group.
My name is Byron Elmendorf. I'm on the Waterfront Advisory Group, and I'm a resident of 30 years and been on the Waterfront Advisory Group since the beginning. Our role is basically two things. One, that keep them on track, and on track means the Waterfront Futures Group did a master plan and had a plan for the waterfront, and we're going to make sure that any plans that the port and city come up with is in that plan, and also that the public is really involved. The citizens of Bellingham have a lot of input to make sure that it's current in what they really see for the future of Bellingham.
And no disrespect to the efforts that the port and the WAG and the city have made, but the format of the presentations and the hearings.
I am committed to continuing this dialogue with the community to create a human-scale waterfront that is economically and environmentally sustainable. We need to make sure that taxpayer money is spent wisely and in a way that protects and advances the public's best interest.
One of the biggest challenges of this project is transportation. We're committed to emphasizing various modes of transportation and using limited funding wisely. The area itself is tricky from an engineering perspective. It is separated from downtown by two things, grade and the railroad. That means we have to be very thoughtful about how we use roads and bridges to link downtown to the waterfront so that it feels connected. Second, the waterfront area itself is fill, old garbage. That poses special challenges for engineers as they design these roads and bridges. It gets very expensive very fast. As a city, we have to strike exactly the right balance to responsibly spend taxpayer dollars and deliver an outstanding product. It's not easy, but I know we know how to do it. It could be an overwhelming project. Breaking it down into manageable, affordable steps is the best way to ensure our success.
Transportation is just one of many aspects of this project. We must also get the parks and open spaces just right. They will form the core of the waterfront experience and will be used and loved by people for the next century or more. And we have to create connections so that Bellingham's downtown leads logically and gracefully to the waterfront. Our parks, public works, and planning departments are working together with the Port of Bellingham to figure out practical and affordable ways to connect downtown to the waterfront in a way that meets the needs of this area today and in the future. We are also working closely with the Port to identify the best first steps to take together, to identify those first steps that make the most sense and that are the most cost-effective for the citizens of Bellingham. We share a vision of what our new neighborhood will look like and feel like. I believe very strongly that citizens and governments together will deliver that vision. We are also working to identify some early action projects that we can roll out soon. I think we owe it to the community to show some concrete examples of what we've been talking about for several years. For example, we are anticipating working with Western to establish the university's presence on the waterfront. And I am discussing with the library board and others the idea of locating a new library on the waterfront along with an early childhood learning center. We are also beginning to plan the next overwater walkway leading from Boulevard Park to the waterfront district. We expect it to be just as popular as the Taylor Street Dock and Boardwalk for recreation as well as a transportation corridor. This project has a special significance to me since I spent a decade on this waterfront as a dock worker and fisherman. I believe very strongly that it is absolutely necessary and possible to move quickly and intelligently forward, and that the community deserves exactly that. This waterfront development project is really a placemaking exercise modeled after places people cherish all over the world. We are creating our own unique neighborhood where people will live and work, where they will learn and explore, where they will gather and celebrate with their friends and families. There are lots of examples of how to do this right. The good news for us as a community is that we have lots of examples of success right here in Bellingham, among our neighborhoods, parks, and public gathering spaces. The port, the city, and the community share a vision. I believe very strongly that citizens and governments together can roll up their sleeves and bring home that vision. The people of Bellingham know how to do this because we've done it before.
My name is Robin Duprey, and I'm a member of the Waterfront Advisory Group. I think I imagine a waterfront that is dynamic and exciting, where people are living and working and playing. It's the showpiece where when community members have visitors from out of town, they take them down to the waterfront. You can stroll by a beautifully restored shoreline. There are migrating salmon in the Whatcom waterway. Maybe you're lucky to see a heron fishing. But you're also maybe able to go see a little concert in a plaza, or stop and have a cup of tea or a beer with your friends, where you go to a meeting right downtown. You get off a bus. It's a walkable, bikeable, transit-friendly place that is really built to a human scale and is about everything that's good that we already embody in our community.
I feel really good about the work the Port and City are doing. We are exploring options for early action projects, and we're continuing to find ways to engage citizens in this project. And we're working really hard and closely to identify the best first steps to take.
Our community's vision for the waterfront sets the stage for an exciting era and a new neighborhood in which our children, our children's children, and their children's children can live, work, and play. You can find out more information about our waterfront vision on the city's website at www.cob.org. Well, obviously, Bellingham's waterfront has a bright future. You know, it also has a colorful past, brought to life each summer during historical cruises hosted by the Whatcom Museum. It's an opportunity to explore our shoreline from the bay, and relax on the water, and see places that are going to change right before our eyes as our community works together to redevelop the waterfront. Richard Vanderway, Curator of Education for the Whatcom Museum, tells us more.
You'll want to take a look at the western gull that will be on our left as we move out of the harbor. It is a history lesson that we think is fun and covers the most interesting parts of our community. It's a way to just find out a little more about the past, a little more about what this town was, a little more about who we all are, as each one of us as citizens has the history of our bay and the history of our community as our background. We go out on the island caper. The island caper is 110 feet long. She'll hold up to 100 to 110 people for our trip. She comes equipped with bathrooms and other amenities one needs to be out for 2.5 hours. Allows the rider to be up above, having good views of the bay, or to be inside where they can sit at a table and eat dinner or snacks as they listen to the cruise, view the things around the bay, and see the sun setting across the bay. We'll show the 4 towns where the early industries were located, what this place was like when the earliest settlers came here. Besides pointing out those areas, we'll also talk about Bellingham present, the industries and activities that go on the bay today. It's a time to look to the future and to see this place that over the next 10 to 20 years will be changing again, as Bellingham Bay has changed so many times in the past.
The whole thing was gorgeous, and I've never seen it from this perspective, you know, from the water. And I've lived here on and off for 25 years, and it was the most gorgeous, breathtaking, awesome view that I've ever witnessed.
Today there are over 80 buildings on a 250 The cruise is good for old-timers, newcomers, and visitors alike, providing a fun evening of interesting facts and tidbits that make you feel like you just know a whole lot more about this community than you did before you started.
More information is available at the museum's website at www.whatcommuseum.org, or by phoning the museum at 778-888-8255. 8930. This summer, once again, the public library is hosting its very popular summer-long reading program for kids. It's also offering a really rare opportunity for the public to take a, what you might call, backstage tour of the library. Now, on these between the covers tours, as they're calling them, you'll get a chance to explore places in the library that are normally off limits, including the closed stacks, which house tens of thousands of books and magazines that the public doesn't get a chance to see. And we asked Christine Perkins, the library's assistant director, to give us a little taste of this unusual tour.
Hi, I'm Christine Perkins. I'm the Assistant Library Director of the Bellingham Public Library, and I'd like to take this opportunity to show you around the library some of those behind-the-scenes places that the public doesn't normally get to go to. When people drop their books off, they land here in the book drop room. On a typical morning, you'll generally see a nice crowd of people lined up to use the library, and you'll often see cars circling the block looking for a good parking space. After we empty out the book drop room, we head here to the check-in area where we're checking on all the materials that come in, over 1.2 million a year. We're assessing them for condition, we're matching them up with your holds, and we're also making sure they get headed to the right branches, either to the Fairhaven Library, our soon-to-open Barclay branch, or all of the branches in the Whatcom County Library system. And as we add new branches such as Barclay, we are doing our best to find space in this area to sort all of the materials so they can get routed the right way. After we check books in, we bring them here to the sorting area where we are dividing them out in terms of where they belong in the central library collections. As you can see, we're maxed out for space, we're at capacity here, and we're having to do things like shorten our shelf height so we can squish everything in as best as possible, get them organized so that we can reach our goal of getting them back out on the shelves to you within 24 hours if at all possible. When the doors open at 10 o'clock, watch out for the stampede as they make their way towards the public internet workstation. Bellingham Public Library offers wireless internet access. We also offer 40 internet workstations that are in use nearly every minute of the day. This is our book cart parking area. We're using public space to store them so that they're ready for our shelvers to take them to the shelves. And now we're going to go to a place where most of the public never sees, our closed stacks area, where thousands of library materials are stored because we don't have space in the main collection for them. Unfortunately, because of light restrictions and ADA accessibility issues, this is not a place that we can have open to the public. So instead, you have to ask for help. The Friends of the Bellingham Public Library do amazing work all out of this tiny office. Each year they bring in tens of thousands of dollars that they put to good use, funding children's programs and doing a variety of fun things for the library. This is the Outreach Services office where our friendly outreach services staff are busy pulling materials to deliver to over 400 patrons in senior residences, assisted living facilities, and healthcare facilities. We visit 30 different centers each month. In the Mendery, we prepare nearly 20,000 items a year to go out on the shelves, including books, audiobooks, and DVDs, as well as mend worn, well-loved items. Children's Library is always a bustling spot. Ideally, bookshelves in the children's area would be accessible to even our smallest patrons. We offer 8 story times a week, and because of popularity, we sometimes have to turn kids away. We hope you've enjoyed your tour through the library and learned a little bit between the covers. My name is Christine Perkins for the Bellingham Public Library. We hope to see you again here soon.
You can schedule a complete Between the Covers library tour by visiting the library's website at www.bellinghampubliclibrary.org or by phoning the library at 778-7206. How much water do you use a day? Well, conserving and protecting water is a priority in Bellingham and statewide. Well, our city officials are now using new technology to read water meters, resulting in significant increases in efficiency and savings that also help us to focus on preserving our precious water resources.
On average, we have approximately 358 meters that are new every year, and we only have a staff of 3. We found that we were unable to keep up with the growth in the city and started looking into what other technology could we employ that would help us get the job done with the same amount of people that we had. And so we started looking at radio read technology. This is a MXU 520R, and what this is a radio antenna. And by taking a plug that's wired to the water meter and plugging it into this antenna, our meter readers are able to collect their reads through a handheld device or a laptop without even having to get out of their vehicle to read the water meters. Through radio read technology, we've been able to save time and money in collecting our reads. The route out on Chuckanut used to take a day and a half, so it took about 12 hours to read the entire cycle out there. And now we can read that cycle in 1 1/2 hours. So we've really reduced the amount of time, as well as safety hazards. We have identified certain areas in the city that, because of increased traffic or because of the locations, the terrain, where it was pretty unsafe to have our readers out there.
We have 2 types of technology. Initially, we started out with these handheld devices, which can also read radio meters. They have a transceiver inside them. And we can also collect and manually enter standard readings, direct read meters. And now I'm transitioning to a vehicle-mounted device, which is basically a laptop connected to a transceiver. We download to a computer in the office from the billing system, and then we put it on just the small memory stick, plug it into the laptop, and we're ready to go. Now the software is just calling out to wake up the radio meters as they come in range, and they will call in the readings to us as we approach them. And all that rapid series of beeps you hear as meters being collected, some of them actually off screen already. It just depends on how clear the radio signal is to that particular meter. We don't necessarily pick them up in the order we see them as we travel. We can read entire routes in a matter of hours these days. Typically, we're reducing reading time from days to hours, a day and a half to an hour and a half, that kind of ratio. We can be confident that the reading is absolutely correct. There's no opportunity for misreads due to older meters where the numbers might be worn off the dials, or meters that are just hard to read because they may be submerged. If we go further down the technology road, we'll be able to take readings from the office, and whenever a customer has a problem with the consumption, we can check that at that time and even tell them if there's a leak. Currently we're not at that stage yet, but it is just another step along the radio read chain.
You can get more information about water meters and water conservation on the city's website at www.cob.org. You know, we would really love to get your ideas about stories and segments on Inside Bellingham. Tell us what you think is really special about our little corner of the universe. You can reach us through our website or directly via email. If you haven't had a chance to visit Big Rock Garden, now is the perfect time to do so. It's full of new growth, and the parks people really keep this a beautiful garden to visit. I'm Doug Waldo. Thanks for watching.